Hello and welcome again to this pronunciation video. This time we are going to work with the sound Z. The sound is represented by this symbol that you see here, which is very similar, or it's the same, as a matter of fact, than the sound theta in Spanish, the letter theta. But be very careful because it has nothing to do with it. Okay, so never pronounce in English this sound like but like z, like it's more related to the s sound. Okay, and just like the s, this sound is alveolar. That means that we place the tongue here. You see the articulation point. We place the tongue right at the gum ridge, la punta del paladar. Entre las encías hay una hendidura que se llama la punta del paladar. In English is the gum ridge. Okay, this point here, and the sound is also fricative. That means we emit air, emitimos aire, fricative, and voiced. That means that we use the vocal cords. When we apply the sound s, it's a voiceless sound. We don't use the vocal cords. But with the sound z, we always use the vocal cords. This is very important. This is the difference between the two sounds, actually. Okay, so like I say, watch out for this sound in Spanish. It has nothing to do with it. Okay, this sound is more like the buzzing of a bee, el zumbido de una abeja. Okay, let's practice before we go on with some words, and we are going to see the difference between the s and the z. So do an S. The English S is very similar to the Spanish S. There's no difference. So let's do an S. That's an S. Now, with the same position, we are going to do the Z. So use the vocal cords when doing the S. And Z, Z. First we do an S, then we do a Z. Z, Z. Okay, it's difficult because this sound doesn't exist in Spanish. So it's very important to practice carefully and slowly until you get the right sound. Okay, so now with this in mind, let's practice some words. First, we have in the initial position like zigzag. Here you have the translation. Zoo, zero. You can see the phonetic transcription here. Zero, ozone, noisy, lazy, buzz, rise, his. The possessive adjective. Very important. It's not his. His is something different, as we'll see later. His. Okay, and we can find this sound in different spellings, like the letter Z, for example, zero, zone, zoo, amaze, gaze, his, and lose, or double Z, like buzz, dizzy, fuzzy, or double S, desert, dissolve, Missouri, possess, scissors. And with the X, we have the g combination with the g sound before. Exactly, exactly. You see that we do the g sound before the z. Exactly. Examine, example, exist. Okay, practice carefully. Repeat over and over until you get, this buzzing like a bee. Zzz, and then you proceed with the practice. We also have sometimes with the SE when the magic with magic E, like clause or analyze and organize. Okay? Okay, let's now practice some words where you're going to see the difference between the S and the Z and the Z sound. And the only difference is that sound. And if you change the sound, you change the meaning. These are minimal pairs, okay? Just one sound changes the meaning. You see, you have here the word, then the phonetic transcription, and the translation here. So you can also develop a little bit your vocabulary. Okay? So let's go with the first word. Sue, demandar. Sue, with an S, with a regular S. Sue. Now we do it with a Z. Zoo. Sue, zoo. Sip, sorber. Sip, zip. You see the difference? Zip. It's like a little zumbido, un pequeño zumbido. Lazy, 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 lazy. Okay, be careful. If you change the sounds, you change the meaning. Ice, eyes. His, his. Race, raise. Bus, buzz. Rice, rise. Price, prize. Niece, knees. You see, sobrina is niece. And just the plural, if you are doing it with like any other plural after a vowel, it should be z. So it's knees. Face, phase. Base, base. Fleece, fleas. And like any other vowel or diphthong which ends in a voiced sound, like all of these in this column, the sound, the preceding sound is always a little longer, even though it's the same sound. But it takes more effort, to make the sound, and that makes it a little longer. This is important to remember. It's a general rule for any sound, any vowel, or any diphthong. You see the difference? Face, phase. See that effort that we need to make a voiced sound will make it longer. Base, base. Fleece, fleas. Bus, buzz. Okay? Practice this section as much as you need until you get a clear difference between the sound S and the Z sound. Okay, good, excellent. Now let's do some sentences and let's practice the difference. The bees were buzzing in the zoo. He won his prize at a very high price. His niece has two knees. He was hissing in the first phase of the race. Put some eyes over your eyes. She flees with the fleece. Okay? So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Practice as much as you can, and this is a very important sound which doesn't exist in Spanish. So it's very important not only for these minimal pairs, but for many, many, many words in English which have this sound. Okay, any questions you can post underneath. Thanks very much, and I'll see you soon.